Hierdie is Dekveld Sport. Ek is Arnold Gents, regstreeks hier op Pretoria FM en vanaand vir die eerste keer ooit ook op YouTube. So as jy sou saam kyk, kan jy gerus dit ook doen. En ons gesels vandag lang afstand swem. My gaste in die ateljee is Chris Aldnel en Piet Kruither wat so kort entjie geswem het in die koue Kaapse See so 'n paar weke terug. Ons gaan nou met hulle gesels. As jy miskien vir hulle 'n vraag het, WhatsApp op 066 374 6193. Hier kom die nommer weer 066 374 6193, maar by hierdie tyd ken jy hom seker al beslis. Chris, to you, welcome. Piet, baie welkom. Lekker om julle saam met my te hê. Dankie vir julle tyd. En ek weet ons kykers op YouTube gaan nou na julle kyk en dink julle moes dan nou regtig nie vergeet dasse en baadjies aangetrek het nie, maar dis eintlik 'n baie spesiale rede hoekom julle so aangetrek is. Piet, vertel vir ons daarvan voor ons swem gesels en sport.
Dankie Arnold. Ons is baie bly om hier te wees. Chris, I'll lead the Afrikaans, so you don't worry.
Thanks so much.
Just as well.
Just like he leads the swims.
As with the swims, I'll guide you. Ja, ons het Pretoria Boys High School so 125ste reunie hierdie naweek en dit is goeie timing met die swem wat ons ook vir fondse ingesamel het vir die naweek. So al die old boys is hier reg oor die wêreld en daar's verskeie aktiwiteite oor hierdie hele naweek. En ons was vanaand by die Last Post by die hoofgebou en daar's 'n konsert. So ons het ons dasse aan en die skool ondersteun ons op al die vlakke.
Chris, what an unbelievable landmark. Where does that make the school fall in as far as age is concerned? Somewhere around 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere around there, isn't it? Roundabout.
Within the country,
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I don't know exactly.
But I'm
but
sure
yeah,
it's somewhere
probably
around
in
there.
the 5th or 6th
Yeah,
oldest school in the
It's
country.
amazing.
Yeah.
What an unbelievable landmark, isn't it?
It is. It's there's a lot of energy at the school, but the whole year there's been this energy,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of passion and old boys getting involved and reconnecting with the school. And I just think, we've had a number of festivals, sports festivals, that's where I've been involved, and, hosting a first ever basketball festival at the school. And then every other festival is, under the 125 banner. And there's just been a different energy and vibe at Pretoria Boys High School. We had an incredible rugby festival, hockey festival, and we're hosting a soccer festival now on the July holiday. And then we wrap up with a cricket festival in the October break. So, I'm loving life. I love my sport, and to, celebrate this milestone and be working at the school, what a privilege. I was a grade 8 boy when the school turned 100. So, to be there now as a deputy head in the 125, it's really unique.
Vraag vir julle al twee. I'm going to get to you in a second, Chris, but daar is nie 'n mooi woord daarvoor in Afrikaans nie. Dis legacy, nie waar nie?
Ja, ja, dit is.
Nie waar nie.
Nee, dit is en jy voel dit soos Chris gesê het by die skool. Jy sal sien as die old boys, selfs die wat lank terug by die skool was, hulle loop net rond en kyk. Dis al en jy trek dit in en haar geskiedenis is tangible.
When I say the word legacy to you, as the deputy headmaster, what does that strike in your heart, Chris?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been asked this question before, what my take is on legacy. And, the way I view it, I'm not really interested in, my legacy. What I'm interested in is that the school continues to provide opportunities for boys to receive an education. So for me, it's about the legacy of the school. I want the school to be there long after we've left, and I'd like to leave it in a better place. And I think that's what's critical, is that, I want to be able to provide opportunities for boys to receive what I received from 2001 to 2005. But I'd like to know that in 100 years' time, the school's going to be in an even better place. And that's what we need to do. We need to be making decisions now that will enable Pretoria Boys High School to be a leading school in the country, 100 years from now.
What a lovely outlook. Ja, ek weet daar's baie mense wat gereeld sê, "Geerts, ek wil graag doen wat jy doen." Sportnuus lees en so nou en dan kommentaar lewer. So you get the chance to do that tonight with me here on Dekveld Sport. So we're going to start off with the French Open. Alexander Zverev mag daarop aandring dat hy nie besonders omgee om die weghol gunsteling te wees om die eerste Grand Slam titel te wen nie, maar die tweede gekeerde sal weet dat die druk vierkantig op sy skouers is. Die lenige Duitser speel teen die Tsjechiese jongeling Jakob Mensik. Hulle het nog net een keer saam gespeel en daardie keer het Zverev hom geklop. Maar natuurlik die groot nuus vroeër in die week dat Jannik Sinner en Novak Djokovic uit is. Dit beteken dat Zverev die gunsteling is. Olimpiese kampioen van 2020. Dink jy hy gaan uiteindelik hierdie aapie van sy rug afkry, Piet, want hy is een van die ouens wat nou al 3 keer in 'n eindstryd in 'n major verloor het.
Ja, ek dink hy gaan hom eis.
I like it.
Ja, ek kry so 'n gevoel.
What are your thoughts?
I didn't
Chris?
catch all of that, but I understand that Zverev is our guy.
He's the favorite after
No.
Sinner and Djokovic having been beaten earlier in the week.
Yeah, I'm disappointed to hear that Djokovic is out. I'm not a huge fan of Zverev, to be honest. So I would like to see him eliminated.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's straight off the bat. Batted that straight away. En dan goeie nuus, maar terselfdertyd slegte nuus. Jong Connor Doig het goed gedoen in die seuns-kampioenskap van Suid-Afrika, maar ongelukkig vroeër vandag in reguitstelle geklop en dis toe nogal jammer. Hy was in die kwart eindstryd. But I think, Chris, from our point of view, when one says a youngster from South Africa got through to the quarters of the boys' championship, it means there's talent coming through. That's
yeah.
good news.
No, it's fantastic.
What's your tennis like at the school at the moment?
Another interesting question. Tennis is definitely in a rebuilding phase at Pretoria Boys High School. I think school tennis, it's interesting because generally speaking, boys are no longer coming to school specifically for tennis. You've got all these academies. So you've got to have someone who actually draws individuals to want to come to your school. And, you know, that way you can hopefully build a tennis program. So we've got a young guy running our tennis program now, Saidi Moruane, and he's coaching a lot of the youngsters. So the goal there is to get grade, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, 7s onto the property.
Start them early.
And then have them register Pretoria Boys High School.
Beautiful. It sounds lovely. Right, Monaco Grand Prix. Daar word verwag dat die plaaslike held Charles Leclerc en Lewis Hamilton Ferrari se lang wenlose reeks sal beëindig en die Italiaanse tiener Kimi Antonelli se wenrekord loop in Sondag se Monaco Grand Prix te eindig. Leclerc wat hierdie week 'n kontrakverlenging met Ferrari geteken het sy tuiswedstryd in 2024 gewen en het 3 keer die afgelope 5 jaar die voorste wegspringplek daar behaal en natuurlik Hamilton het verlede week gewys dat hy ook reg is. In Kanada het Mercedes se kampioenskapleier 'n 4de agtereenvolgende oorwinning behaal om 'n gaping van 43 punte voor spanmaat George Russell te open. Ons het net voor ons by lig gegaan het Piet, het jy gevra daaroor. Wat is jou gedagtes daar?
Dit sal goed wees om te sien dat Antonelli nog dit verder vat. Ek meen dit is ontsettend goed wat hy doen. Ek sal graag wil sien dat Hamilton agter hom is en Verstappen kort op sy hakke. Ek dink dit sal 'n goeie wen wees.
Ek dink egter dit gaan miskien anders opeindig. So Chris Antonelli has said that he believes that Ferrari have a better chance because they have a car and power that goes through Monaco, that street circuit far better. What are your thoughts?
I would like to see this young Thundercat maybe upset the apple cart actually.
There we go yet again. I love it. Dan Blitsbokke, Australië het Sondag hul eerste HSBC Wêreldkampioenskap titel met 'n dramatiese oorwinning van 26-19 oor Suid-Afrika in die eindstryd in Spanje in Valladolid verower, maar het die hulp van die TV skeieregter nodig gehad en ek wil nie veel daaroor sê nie. Dit was 'n vorentoe aangee, maar daar was vroeër 'n vorentoe aangee vir die Australiërs wat ook na 3 gelei het. In elk geval, ons speel hierdie naweek is ons in nog een van die toernooie en hierdie keer gaan dit baie interessant wees. Môre speel ons om 6 minute oor 3 teen Brittanje en dan speel ons teen Kenia om 20:36 môre aan. Suid-Afrika is met 4 punte voor Fiji en dan het die Aussies 30, ons het 38 punte op hierdie stadium. En dan laastens, hier's vele interessante dinge. Manne, die Bulls en die Stormers is heel duidelik 'n kans in die Vodacom URC of die Verenigde Rugby Kampioenskappe dan om geskiedenis te maak en ons hoop dat hulle albei die eindstryd sal haal, maar vir my die interessante ding van dit alles. Kom ons sê net gou-gou daai 2 wedstryde. Eerste stryd teen Glasgow is die Vodacom Bulle en dis in Edinburgh om 15:30 teen die Warriors en dan die Stormers, die DHL Stormers 6:30 Saterdag aand in Leinster teen Dublin. Daar sê dan nou, maar die interessante ding hier is all 4 of these teams that are playing have South African coaches. How amazing is that? So I think from a coaching point of view, I'd like to pass the ball to you. It's not a hospital pass, so you should be all right. Isn't it amazing? What does that tell us about South African rugby coaching? Because you've got Franco Smith, Johan Ackerman, Jacques Nienaber and John Dobson in charge of these 4 teams in the semi-finals.
Yeah, I think it speaks volumes just about rugby in South Africa and what it means to us as a nation. And the fact that you've got individuals leading, those prestigious teams. It says a lot, obviously, about what we're getting right in our country, and everyone wants to get a little bit of South Africa, it seems.
It does seem like it. Piet, jou gedagtes?
Ja, hulle kan nie sonder ons nie. Ons is oral.
Ek hou daarvan. Dis regtig 'n wonderlike ding en ek het dit vroeër in die week raak gelees en toe dog ek net dis iets wat ons nie eintlik besef nie en dit beteken regtig dat ons besig is om iets reg te doen in Suid-Afrika. En dis verbasend met die sportstryde wat ek in die oggende mee gesels met my televisieprogram. Soveel van hulle sê hulle leer so baie by Rassie Erasmus. And that's of course another thing. He and his crew and the BOK team are actually setting the pace for us. Not just, I think, in sport, but in life, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. I think Rassie's an incredible human being and a wonderful leader. And I think a lot of our coaches aspire to be just like him. So I think as a nation, we owe that man a lot because he's given us so much of which we can be proud. So yeah, I mean, I'm proudly South African and proud to see what our Bokke do. And, I just want them to continue succeeding.
Kom ons begin swem gesels manne, die regte rede hoekom julle hier is, nou dat julle sportverslaggewing gedoen het vir 'n oomblik. Piet, hoe die swemding begin, die langafstand swem, en ek wil hê jy moet vir ons terugvat na die heel eerste ene toe en hoe dit van daar af uitgewerk het.
Is dit myne persoonlik of die trilogy?
Nee, die trilogy. Kom ons gesels oor die trilogy.
Ons het ek en Chris, ek dink ek moet begin waar ek en Chris begin het.
Ja.
Dis tog waar die swem begin.
Presies.
So op skool, ek en Chris was nie vriende nie. Ons was eintlik bietjie vyande.
Hoor,
Hy was vir 2 jaar bo my.
Ah.
Selfde huis by Pretoria Boys High in Matheson House en ek was bietjie lui op skool, dalk baie lui. Ek het sport gedoen maar net so rustig.
Het rondgeploeter.
Ja, rondgeploeter. En ons was by 'n gala gewees, die skoolgala, Interhouse gala. Hy was 'n prefek gewees. Ek het gekyk vir die swem. Ek het gestaan en kyk, ek het nie gesing nie. En hy het my uitgeroep vorentoe en hy het gesê, "What are you doing?" En ek, "Why aren't you singing?" En ek het gesê, "Well, I'm focusing on the swimming." Nee, okay. Toe moes ek push-ups doen en hy het my so 'n bietjie, jy weet, 'n skouer
So 'n bietjie
gegee en
gehelp.
ek's terug in die ek het toe nooit van hom gehou nie. En ons het mekaar uitgecheck. In elk geval, na skool het ek begin hierdie langafstand goeters aanvat en ek gaan oefen toe by Tuks. En Chris was toe al klaar daar en ek klim in die vinnige baan in en ek wen toe vir hom. En hy was die vinnige ene. En net soos ons klaar is met die sprint gee hy my so ene in die ribs en hy sê we need to do something epic together. En ek sê let's go. Toe begin die kompeterende verhouding en ons het eintlik toe begin vriende raak. Paar jaar daar later 2023 toe gaan kuier ek net vir hom by die skool en ek loop in sy kantoor in en ek sien hoe hy lyk, hy's out of shape, die man lyk nie goed nie en ek sê vir hom, Chris, what's going on?
That's a bit harsh, eh?
Honest opinion en ons besluit ons moet iets saam doen en begin oefen en ons begin toe oor swem praat en ek sê vir hom, kom doen 'n Robben Island swem met my, kyk of jy daarvan hou of jy dit kan doen. Ons doen 'n Robben Island. Hy doen baie goed en ons besluit ons moet iets doen en hy het planne met die skool gehad. The South African Hall of Fame was betrokke met die skool toe en Chris het begin kommunikeer oor fondsinsameling en ons het toe besluit ons moet die mees dramatiese ding doen sodat ons aandag kan trek om die legacy project van die Hall of Fame te dryf. En ons begin toe dink aan swemme en aan die grootste swemme in Suid-Afrika wat ons kan aanvat. En dis toe die Trilogy Ocean Challenge het ons toe opgekom en Derek van Big Bay Events in Kaapstad wat Robben Island en al hierdie swemme hanteer, sy maatskappy. Ons het met hom gesit en hy stel toe voor dat ons doen swemme wat bekend is wat mense probeer en wat nog nooit gedoen is nie. En die eerste een was toe False Bay.
Hoe lank was dit? How long was False Bay?
False Bay was a 33-kilometer crossing.
Okay.
But I think like there's elements to obviously the Crows version of this that need to be like sort of filled. I think what's no,
Set the record straight.
no. What you said is accurate. I'm happy with it. I'll accept it. But I think what for me is a little bit more. I think what makes the story quite fascinating, or I think beautiful, is that you have this mate of yours who rocks up to your office and says in November 2023, let's do a freedom swim together, and you do that in January 2024 with you gave me a 4-week training program. And you put that together, and then January 2024 we did that swim, and then we finish the swim and we were having a meal together, and we said, why don't we come back in March and do the Freedom Swim Double? And the Freedom Swim Double never went to plan, like a lot of us.
Freedom Swim Double is a double Robben Island.
Yeah, so two Robben Island and back again.
So op een go.
The boat's GPS packed up. There was an intense amount of fog, and a 15K swim became a 20-kilometer swim. And so we wrapped that one up, and then we were in Stelli's having breakfast together the next day. And that's when I explained to him this Pretoria Boys High School South African Hall of Fame partnership and said, maybe we should look at doing something for that partnership. And this is really how the trilogy was born. And these two guys sitting there at breakfast, Google, Earth, looking at things that we could do. And now you got to take into account these are two gents who've grown up and one lives in Pretoria. And now you're contacting Derek Fraser from Big Bay Events and saying, we want to do 3 of these swims. I mean, you can understand how absurd that must sound to an individual like him.
And he asked me, sorry to cut in there, Derek knows me from before, and he asked me what is Chris's experience. I said, well, he's done a double Robben Island. He's like, yeah, and he's like, and a single.
That's
and
it.
What else? I was like, he's actually not an open water swimmer.
Yeah, that's the
So-
pedigree.
Oh boy. Ons gaan verder hieroor gesels want ons het so vinnige breekie wat ons moet neem, maar jy luister na Chris Aldnel en Piet Kruither wat ons gaan net nou by hulle swem kom. Hy was veronderstel om 66 km te wees. Op die ou einde was dit 78 km. Jy luister na Dekveld Sport net hier op Pretoria FM. Hierdie is Dekpad Sport. Ek is jou gasheer Arnold Geerts, baie lekker om jou saam met ons te hê. Ons het vir Chris Aldnel en Piet Kruither hier in die ateljee saam met ons. En as jy miskien nou net op YouTube by ons aangesluit het, 'n hartlike welkom ook aan jou. Lekker om jou saam met ons te hê. As jy vir ons 'n boodskapie wil stuur of 'n vraag wil vra, WhatsApp op 066 374 6193. So Chris, we set it up to the point where you're now contacting people and they're going, I don't know what you're smoking, but you've got to stop smoking this stuff. It's not good for you. And then how do you go from there to taking this lot on?
Yeah, so I mean, like we were talking about it just now, we were saying, well, let's speak with Derek Fraser because Piet's got a good connection there with him. Derek's got him across the English Channel, and Piet carries that clout that you need to, I guess, say that, you know, we want to take this on. And essentially what happened is Derek said, perfect, you guys can come to Langebaan for a training camp. And so I obviously being in education after time training camps with school holidays. And so then the June, July holiday, I flew down for a weekend and we had our first swim in Langebaan together where Derek was, I think, checking if I've got what it takes. I think he knew Piet is capable, and he had some question marks around me. So I climbed into the water with the Crow, and we did about a 30k swim that day, maybe a little bit further.
The first day. The second day you were in hospital.
Okay, hierdie storie moet ek hoor. Hierdie storie
It
moet
was
ek hoor.
well on a drip, but you
Yeah.
had the stomach bug.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the first day was good, and the second morning he
Well,
was DQ'd.
Yeah, well, the DQ, the first that swim, I was already turning, and I wasn't feeling so great.
Yeah,
I was not well in the water, and Piet was getting like a little bit frustrated with me, and he swam up to me and he wanted to know, like, he's like, "Are you okay?" And then he said, we took off my goggles and he saw my face.
Hy het
realised.
verskriklike ons het toe besef hy het 'n baie erge seesiek probleem.
Okay.
En dis 'n rooi lig vir enigiemand,
Ja.
selfs die ou op die boot. Derek, hy moet weet of jy dit kan doen. En Chris het agter geraak en hy het seesiek geraak en veral met hierdie oop swemme, as die ouens op die boot begin twyfel op die ou in die water, dan moet hulle hom uittrek.
Tuurlik ja.
En ek het hom in die oë gekyk en hy het nie soos homself gelyk nie en hy het net vir my gesê I'm not stopping. En ek sê soos 'n training swim, maar hy sê well we have to finish en ons het klaar gemaak. So hy het deurgedruk. So die toets het hy goed geslaag.
Ja.
Maar daai seesiekte het toe nooit weggegaan tot die einde nie, tot vandag toe nog.
Ongelooflik. So just take me through what happens to you in the water when you become seasick when you're swimming.
Yeah, so
Chris?
I mean, unfortunately you bring up whatever's in your stomach.
Okay.
And you've got nothing to hold on to, so it's quite an unpleasant experience. Just
And then
because,
of course you've got no nourishment in your system.
correct, and then you have to go back to basics and try and rebuild slowly and see if your stomach can tolerate it. And we've learned a lot of tricks along the way. We learned that baby food is something that works really well for us. And I found that if I sometimes was sick repeatedly, that I would just ingest a bit of apple puree. And then once my stomach sort of settles, then just maybe water down the carb intake a bit, reduce the strength of the carb, and then slowly ingest it, and then hope for the best. And then you learn to swim sick, swim nauseous, feeling uncomfortable, but you also know that, you can push through it. Trust me, I've done it enough times to know you can go a lot further than you realize when
amazing.
things are uncomfortable.
That is really amazing. Piet, so die eerste ene was toe nou hoe ver gewees?
Valsbaai, so dit was net suid van Simonstad, Millers Point, toe swem ons oor na Rooi Els toe, aan die ander kant, 33 km. En ek het sonder 'n wetsuit geswem daai ene, want ons swem verskillende spoed en ons het een boot gehad. En die idee was dat ek dalk net makliker by hom, of hy makliker by my sou bly, want ek sou koud kry, maar ek sou harder moet werk dalk, of dit was ons teorie. Op die ouene het dit nie so mooi uitgewerk nie, en hy het nierstene gekry, want hy het 'n maagprobleem gehad die week voor dit, en hy het baie medikasie gevat, En ek het te veel soutwater ingetrek, so ek het begin pulmonary edema kry. Ek weet nie wat dit in Afrikaans is nie,
Ek
maar
verstaan presies wat
baie
dit is.
vog op die longe.
Ja.
Ons het klaar gemaak en ons het toe besef ons het beter beplanning nodig vir hierdie as ons dit wil klaarmaak. Maar dit was die eerste een en was 33 kilos en toe begin ons beplan vir die tweede een.
Tell me about the second one. How long was the second one?
The second one was Robben Island to Dustin Island, which hadn't been done before as a solo swim, but had been done by a relay team. And that was, so a 53K swim. And like the Crow says, I mean, we learned some valuable lessons during that False Bay crossing, and kidney stones twice was quite brutal for me. But again, it's all just based on hydration and, getting that carb mix wrong once again and then expelling everything. But to the point where I think I didn't realize how much damage I'd done. So then a week post that first swim did I then start, doing what I had to do. And I won't go into all of that, but it was, wouldn't recommend that for anyone.
I would assume that's not very pleasant.
But I think what was, if I just look at the journey, I mean, terrible or tough training camps, a terrible False Bay crossing then, and that just gets you thinking about how much better you need to prepare, and you're learning from these lessons, and then you changing and adapting as you go.
Yeah.
So I was very nervous for the second swim because in my mind I thought, Sherbet, I hope I don't get sick like that again. I don't want to have to pass kidney stones again. So we start, you go and see one or two specialist doctors and find out what we could do differently for the stomach, and then I did start bringing in anti-reflux meds to counter any other issues with the stomach, but we had great weather conditions for the second swim.
Perfect.
It was perfect. It couldn't get better than that, and we upgraded our wetsuits, which I also think helped. And I mean, the second swim ended up being, like a little bit boring compared to False Bay, just because it went so smoothly.
Ja, die vraag was, sorry, just quickly, die probleem was om in die Kaap 18 ure se goeie weer te kry. Dit was my tyd gewees. Hy was 20 en 'n half op die tweede swem. En jy's verseker dat ergens gaan jy slegte weer kry. En vir al die ouens op die boot, hulle om die tyd reg te kry van wanneer jy begin, wanneer jy eindig, wanneer dit donker is en of jy deur die nag swem. En vals die tweede swem Robben Island na Dustin Island het ons net soos 'n perfekte weer gehad. Dit was plat soos 'n dam en ons het goed klaar gemaak. En ons het baie goed gevoel, we had confidence. En dit het eintlik teen ons getel, want het ons nou meer confidence vir die False Bay. So ons het False Bay, weet ons is 'n groot challenge, maar ons was toe reg vir die derde ene, maar op die einde het ons baie meer werk ingesit.
Ek is regtig geïnteresseerd om te hoor by albei van julle, hoeveel proteïene gebruik mens en hoe word jy warm in die water? Ek dink ons luisteraars en ons kykers sal dit wil weet.
Ja, dit is 'n ding. So kyk, jou maag is baie belangrik in hierdie storie, want dit is waar die kos ingaan en dit hou jou lyf aan die gang. So ons het getoets met kos op die training camps en dan het jy maar jou verskillende goedjies, maar die carbohydrate powder wat ons drink, meng dit met rooibos tee wat warm is. So die idee is dat jy dan van binne af warm word en jy kan jou temperatuur probeer opkry. Eintlik moet jy net vinniger swem. Ek meen om die water uit op te kry en
warmer word van binne af, ja.
Maar warm is nie in hierdie spel nie. Jy gaan nie warm kry nie. Ja, so dit gaan net oor of jy jou core temperature net nie meer kan laat val nie. So die rooibos tee help, maar jy kan net soveel van dit drink. So dan na 9 ure begin ons proteïene elke derde feed, so elke uur en 'n half wat ons dan proteïene ook in. Vir die spiere. Maar daai carbohydrate poeier met rooibos tee en heuning help vir die keel, vir soutwater en dit is tog die belangrikste wat ons deurkry. En dan intussen we eat purity, ons eet jelly sweets en Woolies se rosebuds is dit werk vir een of ander rede.
Dis ongelooflik,
nee. Daar is hierdie paar goed en dit kry jou deur.
You didn't, however, overcome the seasickness at all. It's still part of what you suffer with, although you've found medication now that helps you through it.
Yeah, I mean, it rears its head, unfortunately, every now and then, but I use some epileptic meds to calm the middle ear. That definitely reduces the seasickness.
Is that where it actually comes from? That's fascinating.
Then, I mean, like I said, also getting the stomach right, so using a little bit of reflux meds along with the epileptic meds seem to calm the middle ear, and then you have good old Zoffa, which once you start, unfortunately, expelling whatever you've ingested, and the nausea kicks in, you want to try and control the nausea as well with the Zoffa.
Of course. Just before we take our next break, Chris, I'm really interested to hear the relationship between the two of you. You're obviously two very different men, but at the same time, how do you inspire each other? Can you look into the crow's face and tell he's taking a bit of strain, or vice versa? And is there one or two sentences, or is one of you one of those guys that you said, just leave me alone, I'm suffering on my own?
No, I'm going to answer because
Okay.
you'll get there. You'll get your chance. We know each other so well. It's actually quite scary.
Yeah.
Like I can look at him and I know what's going on, and I feel he's the exact same way. We've got a sense of humor that we understand one another. So even when things aren't, I mean, when I'm not well and I'm unfortunately being sick, this guy is cracking me up because he's like, yeah, baby, get it out, you know. And I'm like, I'm trying. And then when I do get it out, he celebrates. He's like, yeah, come on. And I'm like, let's go. You know, so we don't sit there and dwell on when things are not going well. We actually, we encourage one another in our own special way. And this guy is so good for me because I'm such an intense human being. I can't sit still. Everyone irritates me. I just want to get stuff done. I want to launch. And Crow's a little bit more analytical, sits back and
More
is
laid back.
chilled. Yeah.
Ja, ek is die kalm een. En hy het dit definitief nodig want hy's net altyd op overdrive. So ons is goeie, jy weet, balans tussen die twee.
Ek kan dit sien.
Ja.
Ek hoop ons kykers kan dit ook sien en ons luisteraars kan dit hoor. Jy luister na Dekveld Sport hier op Pretoria FM. Ons gaan verder vorentoe en dan gesels ons oor 'n swem wat veel langer gevat het as wat hy moes. Dis net hierna. Ek is Arnold Geert, Sirius Dekveld Sport en ons is amper in ons laaste 10 minute se gesels oor een van die mees, en ek gaan die Engelse term daarvoor gebruik, epic swims wat ons nog ooit in Suid-Afrika gehad het. Chris Aldnell en Piet Kruifer is ons gaste hier op Dekveld Sport vanaand. So now we've done the second one. Chris, tell us about the last one.
Yeah, so I think the last one, what helped me mentally was that just for 4 weeks before we took it on, we actually decided to fly to Cape Town and do another False Bay crossing as preparation. And
So how long was that again?
So
How long
that's-
was this crossing?
this was another 33K
33
False Bay
Ks, okay,
crossing.
yep.
This time we went from the other side, so we started at Royals and we swam across to Millers. We started at 11 o'clock at night. Again, there was no moon. So it's incredibly dark, but once you enter that water, there's a whole other world that's around you and below you, and there's bioluminescence, and you swimming, and you're making contact with the water, and there's seals, and there's dolphins, and we saw a hammerhead, and we swam through the night together. It was a training swim, so one boat, and we were both being fed, so we actually swam side by side. And then I think just to show that sort of growth that happened over the time of, you know, from January 2024 to that training swim, we wrapped it up, climbed into an Uber, and we went home and just sort of high-fived each other, and we weren't stumbling around and passing kidney stones and all of that other rubbish that has happened before. And okay, there was, unfortunately seasickness and a lot of expelling early on in the swim, but then also just nice to have gotten through that swim and then, you know, I think, again, learnt and then have a bit of confidence. And again, it's another night swim, so you're exposing yourself to that element. And then we went our separate ways, and we had 3 or 4 weeks of just training in the pool for me, and Pierre got to train in Cape Town again a little bit. And then made our way to Cape Town for the second crossing, for this double crossing, sorry. And it started interestingly. We had accommodation that was sort of sponsored, but then there was no water and electricity.
Oh.
So we had to make a plan to change our accommodation. And again, the community came in and sorted us out, and we ended up actually staying right at Miller's Point, which is fantastic. And then, you know, we spent the night together before the swim, got everything prepped and ready. And I think we're in a good headspace, and we played a lot of the right music. I think we're listening to soundtracks from Braveheart and Gladiator, which is it's good for the soul.
Ja. Ja.
And you maybe want to add in a
Ja,
little bit
ek dink net om die perspektief te verduidelik, ons het dis ons derde swem, is die finale swem. Ons kan dit nie klaarmaak nie. Ons het hierdie oefenswem gedoen want ons is nie voltydse atlete nie. Ons het werke, ons het familie. So ons
Wat doen jy net so terloops?
ek vervaardig wynrakke.
Ah,
Ja, decorative wine
Ek
storage.
moet met jou praat.
Ja. So ons het 'n fabriek en ons bou rakke en maar in elk geval ons het ons werk en ons het familie. So ons moes toets oor hoe fiks ons is en ons oefen, maar ons oefen nie genoeg nie. Ons oefen nie 'n program voltyds vir hierdie nie. So in elk geval die toetsloopie was toe 'n sukses en toe begin hierdie groot swem. En dis waar die agtergrond op die storie is hoekom ons dit doen vir die kinders en die skool en die legacy project. En die opbou van dit was baie intens en ons het begin by die slipway om die swem te begin. Dit was 'n livestream. Die hele gemeenskap was agter ons en ek het langs Chris gestaan en dit bou altyd op. Die intensiteit kan jy voel. En dis waar ons inkom. Ons het in mekaar se oë gekyk en ek het 'n grap gemaak. Ek het vir Chris gesê, Chris, this is a really stupid idea. Hy het nie my grap gevang nie en hy het gedog hy moet my bietjie brief en my kop reg kry en hy soos, remember why you're doing this? It's for the boys. I said, Chris, I'm joking.
It's a
Let's
joke.
swim.
I said to you, "No, what happens if we don't do this?" And he's like, "What?" I said, "Nothing. So we have to do it."
Yeah.
And that was the last thing I
And
said.
then we
to you.
started
Yeah, and then
swimming.
we started swimming.
So it was planned to be 66 k's, but eventually you had to swim around a storm. And I do want you to tell our listeners and our viewers when there was a point that you saw land and you thought, not too long to go, 4 or 5 k's, but it wasn't quite the situation.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one because just mathematically, we climbed into the water at 11. We made it to Roy Els. Had combated, I think, what was for me the first leg was very, very tough again because of seasickness and expelling whatever I was ingesting. And then when I managed to finally sort myself out and turn around, I thought, cool. We've got this one. I know we can do it. I know how I felt at the halfway point. And so we swam and off we went. And then the night just went incredibly quickly and the sun was up. So I know the sun's up at 7:30, because you check before you go to these places. And I thought, okay, well, we're approaching 24 hours nearly. And I know the pace we're swimming at. So I was feeling good. And I thought, well, we must nearly be there. And you can see the shore and you get a little bit excited. And then Derek Fraser said to me, "I'm only telling you this because I believe you can handle it, like from a mental perspective." Now, Derek's got a dry sense of humor. So I thought, this guy's just messing with me. And he's like, "You've surpassed your Robin Dustin distance." So I said, "Oh, that's cool." So I'm like, "Can I empty the tank?" Thinking, maybe we've got like 8 k's left.
We can turn on the turbos
Yeah,
now.
let's turn on the turbos. And he said, no, please don't do that. So I said, "Oh, like how bad, Derek?" He's like, "No, you've still got about 20 k's to go." And I said, "Derek, I won't, obviously quote myself directly. I said, 'Are you messing with me?' And then he looked at me with his, like that expression of his, which is pretty much blank.
Sorry, boy.
And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So we're in there for a long time too, which I didn't mind. I really didn't. I was loving life. I was enjoying myself. I knew who I was, knew why I was doing it, all those things, you know. And then the Crow joined me, and yes, when we got together, it was one of the best feelings I've ever
Ons het 'n bietjie
experienced.
van 'n reunie gehad want ek was ver agter. Ek het gesukkel met krampe en my wetsuit het my gedruk en ek het spasmas gehad en jy weet hulle noem dit false baie. It's false hope everywhere.
Ja.
En die son
Ja.
kom op en jy sien die berg en jy dog jy's naby en dit kom nie nader nie. Ek noem dit die death zone.
Ja.
Want jy dink jy's amper klaar, maar
Op die
dit is
ou
nie
einde
so nie.
het julle 78 kilos geswem.
Ja, 78 kilos,
28 uur.
28 uur 37 minute.
Ongelooflik.
Ons het 150 meter verloor op wanneer ons drink en feeds doen want die swel druk ons terug.
So
So daai
jy swem weer
jy
oor
swem
dieselfde
weer oor
water.
dieselfde water. So daai goed tel op
Oei.
en kan nie reguit swem nie.
I know. How much money did you raise in the end, and how many boys will that keep at the school, Chris? Because that's, I'm a great admirer of what you do, but this is really the reason why.
Yeah, agreed. So currently 57 boys on the program. We've got a number of old boys and I think people within the community who signed up for the debit order, which brings in, a monthly amount at the moment, which is sitting about 60,000 Rand. We know now with this Old Boys Reunion weekend, we're going to be pushing the agenda for individuals to sign up the debit order. And then your once-off donations with the debit order, it's close to 4 million Rand, not to mention the number of companies and organizations that are making contact with the South African Hall of Fame. So, Johnny and Eugene are updating me there. So there's spend coming in. And then there's the awareness that's, I think, being generated from STEM Connect. A company contacted me yesterday, had a cup of coffee with a lady and they want to do a rollout and partner with the school to give all the boys on the Hall of Fame program laptops or tablets. So there's things like that happening, apart from just the money that's coming in, partnerships that will give individuals laptops or iPads or whatever route we go. We've partnered with MediHelp as well. So I think the country is seeing the partnership, the difference, the impact. So the swim for me it has far more meaning than that amount of money you raise, because I think it gives opportunity for the world to see, the country to see what it is that we're doing, but more importantly, why we're doing it, and people are putting their hands up, and that makes me excited.
Piet, Chris, I cannot tell you how much I admire what you've done, and it is amazing. Ek weet nie hoe julle dit gedoen het nie, maar ek is een van julle grootste fans. Julle albei wel gedaan. Dankie dat julle hier was. Ons waardeer julle en sterkte met die volgende ene. Ek is seker ons gaan weer oor die volgende ene praat. Ongelukkig het tyd ons ingehaal. Dit was Dekveld Sport, net hier op Pretoria FM. Dankie dat jy saam geluister het en gekyk het. Ek is Arnold Geerts.